Have you ever wondered what it takes to turn simple ingredients into the perfectly baked loaf you pick up at the store? Behind every slice lies an incredible precision, speed, and innovation process. Let's explore the fascinating journey of bread from dough to package. The process of baking bread begins with the careful selection of ingredients. The primary ingredients in most bread include flour, water, yeast, salt, and sometimes sugar and fats. In industrial bakeries, the flour is typically stored in large silos and is weighed and measured according to specific recipes. In some cases, the flour may be blended with other ingredients like vital wheat gluten or enzymes to improve texture or shelf life. Other ingredients, like salt and sugar, are carefully measured to ensure consistency in the bread's flavor and texture. Once the ingredients are measured, they are combined in large industrial mixers. These mixers are capable of handling large batches of dough, incorporating all the ingredients evenly. The yeast is typically added to the water first, allowing it to activate before being mixed with the flour. The mixing process must be precise, as overmixing can result in dense bread, while undermixing can lead to uneven texture. In many factories, automated systems control the mixing time and speed to ensure consistency across every batch. The quality of the ingredients is key to producing high-quality bread. In commercial bakeries, suppliers must provide high-standard flour and other materials, which undergo frequent testing for consistency and quality. Additionally, water quality is monitored because even slight variations in mineral content can affect the fermentation process. Specialized ingredients like dough conditioners may also be used to improve the bread's texture, crumb, and shelf life, enhancing the final product's appeal to consumers. Once mixed, the dough is ready for the next stage of production. The factory may choose to rest the dough for a brief period to allow the flour to absorb the water fully, giving it time to become smoother and more elastic before being shaped into loaves. At this point, the dough is considered bulk fermented, and its quality can be evaluated based on texture and consistency. Dough kneading and proofing. Kneading is a vital step in bread making that develops the dough's gluten, creating a smooth and elastic texture. In industrial bakeries, this process is automated with machines that knead the dough consistently. Kneading strengthens the dough, allowing it to trap air pockets produced by the yeast, which is essential for the bread's rise. The kneading machine typically works by turning the dough at high speeds, which not only mixes the ingredients together, but also works the dough to develop the gluten network that holds the bread's structure. After the dough is kneaded, it undergoes a process called proofing or fermentation. This is the stage where the yeast ferments the sugars in the dough, producing carbon dioxide, which makes the dough expand and rise. The dough is usually left to rest in large proofing chambers, which maintain controlled temperatures and humidity levels to ensure optimal yeast activity. In modern factories, proofing times and conditions are closely monitored through automated systems to maintain consistency and quality. Proofing can take several hours depending on the recipe and the type of bread being produced. Some bakeries use a rapid fermentation process where the dough is allowed to rise quickly, while others may opt for a slower, longer proof to develop more complex flavors. During this stage, the dough becomes softer and more pliable, ready to be shaped into loaves or other bread forms. This is a critical phase because overproofing can cause the dough to collapse, while underproofing can result in a dense loaf with less volume. After the dough has fully proofed, it is ready for the next steps, where it will be divided into portions for shaping. The proofing process plays a crucial role in determining the final texture and taste of the bread, making it one of the most important stages in industrial bread making. Shaping and portioning the dough. Once the dough has proofed properly, the next step is shaping it into individual loaves. In factory settings, this is typically done using automated machines. These machines divide the dough into even portions, based on weight, and then shape them into standardized loaf forms. For some types of bread, such as baguettes or rolls, the dough may be shaped into long, thin portions or smaller round shapes. The shaping process ensures that each loaf is uniform in size and shape, making it easier to bake evenly. In some cases, dough dividers and molders are used to streamline the shaping process. Dough dividers cut the large proof dough into smaller, equal portions, while molders roll and shape the portions into loaves. The dough portions are then placed onto baking trays, where they may undergo a brief second proof, allowing them to rise a little further before baking. The efficiency of this process is essential for keeping production running smoothly and ensuring that each loaf is the right size and shape for packaging. For more delicate or artisanal breads, some factories may opt for manual shaping, allowing for a more personal touch in the final product. Skilled workers may hand-form the loaves or shape them using traditional methods, giving the bread a distinct appearance and texture. In large-scale industrial bakeries, however, automation typically takes precedence to ensure speed and consistency in production. Regardless of the method, the shaping stage plays a key role in ensuring the bread bakes evenly and holds its form. Once shaped, the dough is transferred to the oven for baking. Some bakeries may give the dough a light final rise before it is placed into the oven, allowing the bread to expand further and achieve its final texture. Baking process. From oven to perfect loaf. The baking process is where the dough transforms into bread. Industrial bakeries use large, high-efficiency ovens capable of handling thousands of loaves at once. These ovens are usually conveyor belt systems, where the loaves move through the baking chamber at controlled temperatures. The temperature inside the oven can vary depending on the type of bread being baked, but it typically ranges from 350 degrees Fahrenheit to 475 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius to 245 degrees Celsius. The heat causes the yeast in the dough to produce more carbon dioxide, causing the bread to expand further and form a soft, airy crumb. Baking times also vary based on bread size and type, with smaller loaves baking in less time and larger ones taking longer. The bread's crust begins to form as the moisture evaporates, and caramelization of the sugars inside the dough gives the bread its golden brown color. This is a critical phase where the bread develops its flavor and texture, and a precise balance of time and temperature is crucial for achieving a perfect loaf. To ensure consistency, ovens in industrial bakeries are equipped with sensors that monitor the internal temperature and adjust as necessary to prevent burning or underbaking. As the bread bakes, it undergoes significant physical changes, expanding and developing a golden brown crust. The oven's steam function can also be employed in some cases to improve the texture of the crust, making it crisp and shiny. Once baked, the bread is removed from the oven and placed on cooling racks to rest before moving to the packaging line. Cooling is important as the bread continues to cook slightly due to residual heat. Additionally, packaging hot bread can result in condensation inside the packaging, affecting the quality and shelf life of the product. Cooling and resting. After baking, bread needs time to cool down before it is packaged. In factories, cooling racks or conveyor belts carry the freshly baked bread to areas with controlled temperatures and airflow. The bread continues to release steam, and as it cools, the structure of the loaf sets. Cooling is important for several reasons. It helps to prevent the bread from becoming soggy, improves its texture, and makes it easier to slice. During this period, the outer crust hardens, while the inner crumb remains soft and fluffy. The cooling process is usually done in stages. The first stage involves cooling the bread for a short period at room temperature, where the majority of the steam escapes. In some bakeries, a secondary cooling system using fans or air conditioning is used to speed up the process. The length of time needed for cooling depends on the size and type of bread, but typically it takes about 30 minutes to an hour for the bread to reach a temperature suitable for packaging. At this point, quality control tests may be performed to ensure the bread has met the factory standards. This can include checking for uniform size, shape, color, and texture. Some factories also perform additional tests to measure moisture content, ensuring the bread doesn't have excess moisture that could cause it to spoil too quickly. Once cooled and inspected, the bread is ready to be sliced and packaged, marking the final steps in the factory's bread-making process. Slicing and quality control. In industrial bakeries, slicing bread is a crucial step that must be done with precision. After the bread has cooled, it passes through slicing machines that cut it into uniform slices. These machines are designed to ensure each loaf is sliced to the desired thickness, whether it's for standard loaves, sandwich bread, or artisanal cuts. Some bakeries offer unsliced loaves, while others slice bread for consumer convenience. The slicing machine typically uses serrated blades to make smooth cuts without crushing the loaf, ensuring that each slice maintains its structure. The slicing process is followed by rigorous quality control checks. The bread is inspected for various quality standards, including slice thickness, uniformity, and proper crumb structure. In large factories, automated cameras or sensors might monitor the bread as it moves through the slicing machine, looking for any defects such as uneven slices or imperfections in the loaf. Any loaves that don't meet the required standard are typically removed from the production line and either discarded or sent for reprocessing. Some bakeries also conduct additional tests to check the flavor and texture of the bread, ensuring it meets the expectations of consumers. For example, they may check the air pockets inside the bread to make sure it has the right crumb texture. All these checks ensure that each loaf meets the factory's quality standards and is consistent with previous batches. Once sliced and approved, the bread moves to the packaging area, where it will be wrapped and prepared for shipping. This ensures that only the best quality bread reaches the consumer. Packaging and distribution. The final step in the bread-making process is packaging, which ensures that the bread remains fresh and protected during transportation and storage. In industrial bakeries, automated packaging systems are used to wrap each loaf or batch of loaves. These systems often use plastic wrap, paper, or cardboard packaging, depending on the type of bread and the market it is being sold in. In some cases, a plastic bag is used for sandwich loaves, while more artisanal or high-end breads might be wrapped in paper. Packaging is crucial for extending the shelf life of the bread, as it protects the product from contaminants, moisture, and air exposure. In many bakeries, modified atmosphere packaging, MAP, is used, where the air inside the package is replaced with a special gas mixture to slow down the staling process and prevent mold growth. This allows bread to stay fresher for longer, even in distribution or retail environments. Once packaged, the bread is then ready for distribution. It is loaded into trucks or containers and transported to warehouses, distribution centers, or directly to retail outlets. The distribution process is closely coordinated to ensure that the bread reaches stores while it is still fresh. Many bakeries have efficient logistics systems in place to track the movement of their bread and ensure timely delivery to meet consumer demand. The final packaging and distribution phase is key to maintaining the integrity and freshness of the bread, ensuring that consumers receive a high-quality product every time they purchase a loaf. Now that you've seen how bread is baked and packaged in factories, what part of the process amazed you the most? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you're hungry for more fascinating insights, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.